Welcome. You have just been selected to give a speech at a local conference. Now, what do? You don't need to panic. You don't have to fear it because actually you're not alone. Public speaking is the number one fear for most people. But it's not hard because I've got 10 great tips to help you out. Let's get started. The first tip is speak from the heart. You need to believe in what you have to say. And if you're passionate about your subject, your words, then your audience will be with you. Number 2, write down a few objectives that you have for the speech. And ask yourself, what do you want the audience to do as a result of your speech? Think differently, act differently, do something different. And then number 3, you can also write it out. Because then you've got a logical thinking through your speech. And you understand it so well that you can explain it to a child. And write it down a few times. And don't memorize it. No. What you want to do is to put your main objectives on a 3x5 card. Because if you do bring the speech along, you'll have a tendency to read it. Number 4 is be present. In other words, you want to connect with your audience in the first 60 seconds and get them involved, reinforce what they're thinking. And you'll be connecting with them. You can tell. Number 5 is to know your audience. Here you'll need to talk to the conference chair or someone who's in charge in advance to find out what type of people are going to be in my audience. All men, all women, what's the theme of the conference? These are the sort of questions you need to ask. Number 6 is the room setup. Here you need to go in advance beforehand and look around at the room you're going to be speaking in and where you're going to speak in from, whether you have a platform or not. And also microphones, especially if you've got a large audience, you're going to have several different types of microphones to choose from. And number 7, is there a technique? Yes, just be yourself, be natural. Let it come, let it flow naturally in a conversational type of speech. Pretend that your audience are in their living rooms and you're just talking to them. And look at each of them. You'll know if you're getting through to them. They'll react. Number 8 is what I call stumble words. These are because of uncertainty or maybe nervousness. You've probably heard these before, like ums, and run-on sentences, but, this sort of thing. Pet words. Number 9, you need to share your personal experiences, your personal stories with the audience that relate to your speech. Then your audience will more likely be able to relate to you and their own lives. And closing your speech, here you want to let them know what your audience know what you want them to do. So go around the room and ask if you have the time. Get their responses and what they got out of your talk. Now, you're probably asking, who am I? Why am I qualified to talk about this? Well, I was a training instructor, a teacher in the Air Force and the Navy. Then I got my BS and BS. You heard me right. I have a BS in speech communications. And then after that, I spent over 15 years in Toastmasters. So if you need more help, head on over to the link below. Thanks for watching.